What is up, you guys? Fallout What If here, and today I thought this has been gone long enough. So I thought, hey, what if Deku was a caveman? Part 4, I believe. If not part 5, results may vary. But anyway, so over the past couple of days, Momo and freaking Deku have been training, as well as Intelli and Melissa. And sometimes when Melissa and Deku are alone, things kind of get wild. Let's just say his fingers, sometimes it reaches certain places. And freaking Melissa's knees sometimes get more wobbly, her not being able to handle it, and her knees on the floor. They have that little thing going on right now. So anyway, Deku just talks to the other girls and says, alright, so I need to train you in your fire, and after that I need to train you in your electricity. I need to train your dark shadow or your, I forgot what the quirk was called, but I know it's not like dark shadow. It's like a white bird, so it's like a light dove or something like that. I don't know. But, freaking Momo's speed as well. She's gotten a lot more faster. Intelli's fire is much more hotter and much more bigger if she uses it. And Melissa's version of Dark Shadow, Hufflepuff, I believe, Sparkle Puff. I believe it's that's or not. I don't really remember. But him training them for a while, and basically all of them are much more used to doing stuff. So now we just go on to the freaking USJ thing. They get on the bus. Freaking Froppy tells him what is his quirk, and Deku says he doesn't really know, but he has like so much quirks right now in his arsenal that he can use. And not only that, he has a freaking he can take away quirks, as far as he can tell. Not only that, he can also give and take. So yeah, they're all thinking, wow, this kid is very OP. And that's because he is. And Melissa talks about how Deku is a freaking caveman, because over the couple of days they thought, hey, if somebody asks about why Deku is this way, yeah, they might as well just tell him, because there's not a lot of reasons why he would be he would be like a caveman. So she just tells him straight up, Deku was the first ever human, or one of the first people to walk the earth. And they're like, yeah, that's funny, Melissa. And she's like, no, you're not understanding this. He is the first ever person to walk the earth. Basically, he is the first of mankind. And she has her phone, so she's basically like searching up her data, the data that she has, basically showing everybody that she's telling the truth. And yeah, pretty much they're all in shock, because this kid is truly a caveman. And they all think, wow, I'm glad he's president. So because Deku, after showing his strength and his freaking power itself, not only that, being the first one in I forgot what it was called. Oh yeah, first place to do all this stuff. Pretty much Deku is like pretty dang it, I keep forgetting, but I know it's Deku is the is the strongest in their class. So they respect that, and he's not mean like Bakugo or cold like Todoroki, or basically like freaking like annoying like Gita. Basically, he's like what's called a better version of all of them, but he's a caveman. So Deku is like, yeah, pretty much. I am. How do I say it? I am one of the first people to walk the earth, but I am someone who lost his family because of of an ice age. Is that how you call it? Melissa says yes, an ice age. So we took care of him, and after that, pretty much he's basically our fiance. And they're like, wait, fiance? What do you mean fiance? This is when Deku was like, these three are my women. No one can touch them but me. And he's not saying it like a jerk. He's like saying like, he's like actually making sense. These are the people who I'm going to spend the rest of my lives with. And none of you guys can try to do anything to them besides me. And they're all like thinking, wow, that's pretty, what's it called? It's pretty disturbing right there, having somebody having 3 fiancés, and he's a caveman, Okay, so Deku is now, how you say it? Not Deku. The bus has already made its way to the USJ. They all come in. Freaking, what's her face called? 13 talks to them. And pretty much now Deku is just waiting for something to happen or for class. So he's just walking around because, yeah, nobody senses him due to his, like, animal instincts and all that, or the aura he gives off. So this is when the freaking portals come in, the monsters come in, or the villains come in, and this is when Deku has to go fight. Now, since he's first, he summons freaking a double of himself, but the double itself turns into an animal, and it's somewhat like Takar, because how you say it, he doesn't use Takar and Da because they can't be, well, they technically are his quirk, but Deku doesn't have them right now, so he's calling them using a pack of meat, which Takara and Da can sense and smell immediately. So it's gonna take like what, a good 15 minutes due to their speed. Now Deku is fighting some of the villains, some of them taking a good hit on them, but Deku summoning his version of Dark Shadow, which is a moose, using its horns to ram into all of them, basically breaking the horn, or not breaking the horns, breaking some of their ribs and pushing them a lot back. Back. Deku starts to use fire and basically burns half of the population, or basically half of the one side of the villains, and using his ice to freeze some of the villains. Now this is when Deku starts using vines and thorn-like vines. Yeah, thorn-like vines to basically grab all of them. But if they try to like rip their way or try to remove it, they're gonna get thorns in their on their hands, and they already have thorns when they're wrapped around the person. So yeah, it's pretty much Deku is taking care of this, but Aizawa has to come in. Bakugo is not going to miss this one, and the girls want to protect Deku. So pretty much, a lot more of the a lot more of the kids try to help out because Deku is the first one to be there. So let's say probably besides Koda, and if I did say Mineta, if Mineta's in here, then yeah, pretty much, yeah, he's not going to fight either way. Let's see, Hagakure, if she's there or not, she's going to fight So no. They Melissa and freaking Melissa and Intelli already replaced those two, I believe. So yeah. So it's basically just Koda, since he doesn't have any animals to work with. Pretty much he can't do a thing. So Deku is still attacking all of them. Todoroki on his side doing the same thing with this fire and ice. No, pretty much his ice, because he's still not wanting to use his fire. Bakugo exploding all of them. You know how it usually works. So this is when Kurogiri has to teleport some of them. But Deku seeing this now, thinking about teleportation, but how would it work? Well, it's pretty much like this. Deku, instead of using a portal, he could basically think of the person and then teleport them right here, or to the spot that he wants to put them in. So Kurogiri is like, what the heck? And Deku just teleports him somewhere in the buildings. And this is when Kurogiri's like, wait, where am I at? And this is when some of the villains were about to attack freaking Kurogiri, but they see that it's Kurogiri, like the person who has to take him back home. So like, oh, wait a minute. Let's not, yeah, hold on here. Sorry about that, Kurogiri. But this is when Deku starts to unleash more of his clones, and they're all animals now. Some of them are rhinoceroses, mammoths, freaking wolves, bears, lions. Well, it's basically lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, well. So, this is when the Nomu comes in and starts attacking freaking Bakugo. Bakugo trying to dodge, but Deku seeing this teleports Bakugo somewhere else, and he sees the freaking, what's his face? He sees the Nomu, and he starts running to it with a spear in hand and a freaking a club on the other hand, and basically stabs freaking the Nomu in the freaking chest and starts cutting him down, or trying to cut him down in the freaking, like I said, kneecaps. This is when Shigaraki's like, you idiot, the Nomu can't be killed that way. And Deku's like, wait, what? This is when the Nomu takes a hard hit to the freaking chest, and basically Deku's flying, but using his whips to try to what's it called? Him using the whip so that way he can, stop him, so he can stop himself from flying, or basically from moving. This is when Todoroki tries to ice up freaking Shigaraki, but the Nomu runs all the way to the freaking ice and basically breaks it. Him trying to break the freaking ice every time the Nomu is doing it. Or how would I say this? Hold on. Okay. the Nomu's breaking the ice while Todoroki is using his ice pillars. So that means the Nomu is distracted for a while. This is when Deku uses some of the meat that he has and basically uses a blade of his leaves to freaking put himself to, high shape, or basically heal himself. This is when now he has to use his gorilla form and basically running to the freaking Nomu and using two hands to freaking do a sledgehammer on the Nomu's freaking head. And this is when the Nomu's killed. Why? Because a gorilla can technically lift much more than, what's it called? Freaking how people, what is it? Let's see, how do I say it? He basically broke the freaking brain, squished it with his bare fists, and basically the Nomu, not having a brain anymore, just dies. But you guys are saying that was a lot more easier than expected. Well, here's the thing. Deku can just use his gorilla form, because the gorilla form is much more stronger than what people think, because it never actually goes to full strength. So yeah, it could probably lift to probably 1,000 pounds, or probably even more. We don't actually know. So hitting the freaking Nomu with 2 of his hands on the same time, yeah, that head right there is already broken. The Nomu's dead. And give me a second here. I need to drink some H2. Ha ha. Now anyway, okay. Now anyway, Deku just automatically beats up the Nomu and keeps crushing it, so that way it won't do anything else. But this is when freaking Shigaraki tries to grab him, but Melissa grabs not the Nomu. What's her face? Tries to grab Shigaraki's hand. And basically, yeah, her whole freaking, her hand itself is now broken or disintegrated. This is when Deku gets much more primal, and now he's destroying Shigaraki's hand. But before he can try to crush anything further, this is when the freaking Kurogiri goes and teleports him, and basically Deku is now wondering where he's at. But all the villains are now charging up to Deku because, how you say, he's alone right now and there's nobody trying to attack him. But him swinging his hands, breaking a lot of bones, basically just enraged because not Momo. Did I say Melissa or no, Melissa? Melissa's hand is basically disintegrated, but Deku is breaking everybody, trying to ward them off, pushing them away, basically trying to protect Melissa because her hand is now, like, her hand is in the, what is it called? Freaking... Okay, so her hand is basically disintegrated, but blood is coming out, and there's a lot of blood coming out. So, Deku is destroying all of them, but Momo and freaking Intelli charge up and run to freaking, how you say it? Run to Melissa and says, oh, sheesh. Oh, crap. This is when Melissa, Intelli tells Momo to freaking, do some, what is that thing called again? To grab? No, not to grab. To, summon or create freaking medical supplies. Well, Intelli grabs her fist and starts to, freaking heat up Melissa's hand, so that way it can, like, crystallize and basically become, stop the bleeding. Melissa's crying in agony, but this is when the not Nomu, this is when Deku's gorilla form sees it and thinks that somebody's trying to hurt her because it's her screams, but he also sees Intelli and freaking Melissa. This is when All Might comes in because, how you say it? What is it called? All Might only sees some dude that's big, what's called big, black, and hairy, and basically whose face looks a bit more different. But he also sees that his hair on top of his head is much more colorful, and he's thinking probably Deku turning into his gorilla form, as he remembered in the freaking Heroes vs. Villains exam. Him charging up and punching Deku away, telling him, young man, you need to calm down. This is no time to get angry. And this is when he sees Melissa and freaking, he sees Melissa's hand, and he sees that it's broken, or basically there's no more hand, and he says, young man, did you do this? And he, Deku in his, Deku is just growling at him, and he says, you, what was it gonna say? Oh yeah, okay. You, young man, you have gotten angry in the past, yet you've calmed yourself down. I have no qualms with that. But hurting another student is unforgivable. You right now are a villain, and I must take you down. So he runs to freaking All Might, and All Might runs to freaking him. Basically, both doing a smash. But Deku's is much more harder because now he's charging up with some kind of energy, whatever he's using, which is making him stronger. And All Might feels this and he's like, ah, damn it, that hurts. Well, it doesn't matter because I have to go 100%. Or no, he won't say that. He says, well, young man, it seems that you gone stronger, I see. But no matter, you still have to pay for your crimes. And basically he starts punching freaking All Might. No, Deku punching All Might. Now it's becoming a free-for-all. Both of them are trying to destroy each other. But this is when Shigaraki and Kurogiri tries to freaking use his hand on the Nomu, freaking All Might while he's down. And because it wasn't the Nomu, both aren't going at 100% truly. So the wind, the whole freaking like wind stuff doesn't actually happen. So when Deku sees this, he sees freaking Kurogiri's hand about to touch All Might, and instinctively reacts and grabs All Might and basically turns around. His whole back being disintegrated little by little. This is like, well, kid, you're trying to do some kind of weird grappling technique, but it won't work on me. And he tries to flip him over and basically slam him onto the ground. All Might not seeing this, and freaking Shigaraki is like, geez, this actually is kind of fun. Look at him. He doesn't even know what happened. And All Might really doesn't know. This is when Momo tries to stop him, but this is when All Might says, stay back. He hurt freaking Melissa. And Melissa, he already knows who Melissa is. He treats her like a daughter or like a niece. But to see her, her hand gone because he thinks it's probably Deku, they're like, wait a minute, it's not Deku. I know that Deku has done this because look at Melissa's hand. He must have probably ripped it off when he was in a fit of rage. And this is when Momo tries to say something, but he says, you have to go, young lady. I'll deal with him myself. And this is when the heroes come in. Freaking Deku is now seeing all this, but he gets up and his back starts to heal. A little by little, at least. But two more unsuspected characters come by, and it's freaking Takar and Da. Now, Da grabs the freaking All Might with his freaking claws, and he bites his freaking arm with his teeth. This is when Takar basically rams himself into freaking All Might's legs and tripping freaking All Might. Him was grabbing him and pushing him down as hard as he can. All Might was saying, wait, what are you two doing here? Because he already knows who they are. They already climbed and says, so you're helping him, aren't you? And he says, well, it doesn't matter because all you three are going to jail. And this is when All Might gets a punch to the freaking side. I don't know if All Might... did I say All Might had his injury? Let's say he has his injury still, or a little bit of the injury, but not a lot. But once he gets punched, he feels a certain... He feels this, like... What's it called? He feels a certain, like... I don't know how to say this, but he feels a certain reaction to his body, which makes him almost shrink. What do you mean shrink? Well, because All Might's body kind of messed up the second there. He is trying to go 100%, but he can't. This is when the other heroes try to stop all three of Deku and freaking Takar and Da, but all of them basically get how do you say it? This is when Da and Takar try to stop all them. But since they're freaking cemented into the freaking ground, or basically have a lot of cement on them, they can't move. But Deku can. He's trying to go, and this is when he gets shot in the freaking kneecaps by what's-his-face, Snipe. And he's trying to heal as much as he can, but he really can't right now due to all the energy he's wasted. But this is when he goes into his to his regular form. And basically with enough wiggle room around there, he can basically just jump out and basically, how you say it, charge at the freaking, not Nomu, Shigaraki. And this is when All Might sees two people, one that's purple and one with a bunch of hands on his body. And he's like, wait, who are those two? Are those the villains? And he says, you guys, you have to stop him. He's going to kill them. And this is when Deku tries to jump and move, or not move. This is when he tries to stab freaking Shigaraki. But this is when Kurogiri tries to use his teleportation, with Deku countering with his teleportation. Basically teleporting freaking Kurogiri somewhere where the heroes are at, and tries to stab freaking what's-his-face? Try to stab Shigaraki, but Shigaraki disintegrated it before that could even happen. Deku's getting mad and tries to disintegrate or use another spear and tries to stab him, but it keeps happening. Shigaraki isn't a what's called weakling, but he's usually a crybaby. So Shigaraki trying to move around where he's at, Deku using his fire and trying to burn him. Well, this is when freaking Kurogiri sees this, and with his teleportation, teleports the fire to where the heroes are at. So heroes are getting burned right now, and All Might says, "Stop, young man! You can't keep going on like this." And Deku's trying to kill him, but this is when he teleports freaking Shigaraki to the freaking top of the building, and basically him falling all the way down. This is when Kurogiri tries to stop him, but Kurogiri can't stop him anymore because Deku already sees what he was going to do, teleporting him to another place. So now he messed up his teleportation thing. This is when Kurogiri teleports back to the freaking place, and all they see is a freaking Shigaraki down on the ground with a lot of his body broken, or his bones broken, and all that. And this is when Deku, what's called, rages and tries to stab freaking Kurogiri, or not Kurogiri. He tries to stab freaking Shigaraki, but this is when Kurogiri teleports him all the way on top, just like he did to freaking what's his face, Shigaraki. He teleports Deku onto the top where Shigaraki was also like hurt. So basically, Kurogiri giving him what he deserves, or doing the same thing as he did to Shigaraki. You guys know what I'm trying to say, all right? Please say that you understand. But anyway, Deku is falling to the ground. All Might can't move right now because if he does move, he's automatically going to turn skinny. So what happens here is Deku just falls down, but his freaking Dark Shadow turns into a freaking what is it called? Turns into a tree, because it can technically shapeshift into anything. It doesn't actually matter anymore. So Deku doing this, grabbing onto the tree. Anyway, him grabbing onto the tree, and basically Deku catching some of the branches, him falling, but actually the trees reduced. The trees basically broke some of the fall. Deku's on the ground in pain, but tries to get up and tries to stab Shigaraki. This is when Kurogiri just teleports Shigaraki and himself home. Deku, getting mad and seeing this, tells freaking them, where are they? Where are they? This is when Momo and freaking Melissa and Intelli stop all the heroes from trying to attack them, and Melissa stopping All Might, and what's called not All Might. Yeah, All Might says, Melissa, what are you trying to do? Why are you protecting him? He's a villain. And this is when Melissa says, no, he's not. You had to at least hear him out before you go on and do something else. And All Might's like, but what he did to you. And this is when Melissa gets mad and starts shouting at freaking All Might, scolding him and telling him, Deku didn't do all this. It was the freaking guy with the hand. Or the guy with the hands on his face. He actually disintegrated my head while I was trying to protect Deku from getting hurt. And what's called Momo and Telly can vouch for her, but she kind of passes out because due to blood loss. And All Might's like, so instead of trying to fight the villains, I accidentally took this one. I actually fought him, thinking he was a villain. This is when All Might kind of gets like a change of heart, because after he says, after he now knows all this, Deku is just going and trying to pick up freaking freaking Melissa, and Deku, not Deku, All Might could see his back, and it looks kind of like Melissa's hands. So when he was, fighting freaking All Might, he was thinking to himself, what if he was trying to protect me from getting the same kind of damage to my body as his? Because now he's looking at the time where he was grappling All Might. All Might's like, oh, wow. He feels very bad about what he did. Not only that, calling Deku a villain. Not only that, thinking that, feeling bad that that he fought somebody that Melissa truly loves. And this is when Deku is in tears. But he says, you are going to be alright. And he grabs some of the leaves on his hair, trying to freaking tell Melissa to eat this. And Melissa eating this, feeling this sense of energy coming inside of her again. And not only that, her freaking hands are now healing. But this is when he's all like, Melissa, I'm going to take away your quirk and use another quirk on you. Because he already took the freaking, he took the Nomu's regeneration thing. Not only that, he took his, he took his, what is it called again? He took his regeneration and his shock absorption. So this is when he says, here, Melissa, this could help you out. And he uses the freaking regeneration thing. And basically Melissa's feeling this, and her hand, instead of turning looking disintegrated, her hand's kind of reforming, but not too fast, because he doesn't she doesn't have enough energy to basically do all that. So with enough meat and enough yellow leaves, basically Melissa's back to full health. Her hand's starting to look good, but the thing is, her hand can't move for a while due to the fact it being regenerated. This is when Deku holds her and says, let's just go home. And Deku passes out. Due to all the pain that he's feeling, due to the energy he's already wasted, all of them think that he's already dead. All Might's now in shock because he thinks that he probably killed this dude. Shigaraki and Kurogiri seeing, because of what they did to Deku, Deku passes out for a couple of days. That's where I'm going to leave this off, people. And I know that it's shorter, and I know sometimes I kept messing up on my speeches, but I kept messing up due to the fact that every time I was talking, I was thinking about something else. But I hope that this will do good for right now. And yeah, so I think the other things I was going to do was, what if Deku was Scorpion? Took the mantle of Scorpion, and I believe also doing the Atom thing at nighttime. So yeah, prepare yourselves for that. And some of you guys that are saying the Rosario X Vampire thing, I'm going to do it, alright? You horny people, I am going to do it. Don't forget, I was going to do all this, but like I said, I'm trying to do my older ones first, so that way all of you guys can be happy. Some of you guys won't be saying, oh, why aren't you doing your old ones? You keep forgetting about those, huh? Yeah, alright, so remember, I'm just doing that. Like I'm going to say, as always, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, this is the fallout with it for here, people. Bye. Ah, shit.